I was able to stack up 32,032 points for destroyed ticks as a solo raider during a night raid on Stellamontis. There are two specific areas that spawn ticks in volume, saying that other raiders aren't active in the area, and they are connected together, making the rotation extremely simple. That said, this is a night raid on Stellamontis, so bring your comfort picks for PvP or your best negotiation tactics to help you be successful in extracting. The setup here is a bit more involved, but you want to plan for dealing with shredders as your primary concern. Then ticks, fireballs, and pops as your secondary concern. I highly recommend the looting MK2 augment, which you can buy from Lance, as it comes with the benefit of automatically throwing ticks off of you. This perk is life-saving when you're dealing with a shredder. You will want to pack a heavy weapon, and I recommend the anvil specifically for the shredders. At least 120 rounds for it will safely cover you, and make sure it's repaired to above or at 75 durability. Your secondary is up to you, but you will want something that can deal with ticks in higher volume. You'll be fighting anywhere from 2 to 5 at a time, so flexibility is important for your secondary. I used the level 1 Rattler, and it did the job well overall. Make sure you pack ample healing and shield recharging items, but if you run out of those, you can easily farm up materials in one of these two areas and make bandages or rechargers on site. Just make sure you have the field crafting unlocked if you plan to do that. If you don't have crafting unlocked, I recommend doubling up on the meds you normally bring, as getting hit by a shredder once is going to exhaust a lot of your healing, so plan ahead. Beyond that, explosives are great for shredders. Snap Blast and an anvil will make quick work of one. Trailblazer grenades will absolutely destroy shredders if you catch them well in the blast radius. And Seeker grenades are great backups in case you're low and need to take a shredder out that's chasing you. The areas you'll be farming are the Seed Vault and the Cultural Archives. Both of these locations have high volumes of ticks that respawn relatively quick if no other raiders are present. In the Seed Vault, you'll also fight sentry turrets, and in the Cultural Archives, you'll also fight a variety of fireballs, pops, and shredders along with the ticks. These two areas are essentially connected together through one hallway that goes between the two, making it super easy to rotate back and forth. You will want a full game for this. 30 minutes is key. I recommend waiting until there's only a couple minutes left in the night raid before you queue in. This is risky as you're not guaranteed a full match, but getting a full match with only 1 minute remaining until map rotation means you will not have players joining in progress. This can greatly increase your potential score from low 20k to 30k and above. Prioritize the Seed Vault first, then the Cultural Archives second. Seed Vault has a ton of ticks if you get there first, which will jumpstart your score. Now that the setup is out of the way, let's talk about the biggest threat you'll deal with, shredders. With the semi-recent update from Embark, shredders are a bit more agile, aggressive, and prone to reacting to a raider within eyesight, or they will respond to any level of shooting and eliminating enemies nearby. That said, they are considerably easier to deal with now, and you can safely manage one at a time with an anvil, targeted shooting, and great positioning. You will regularly fight shredders in the Cultural Archives, and they will respawn if you eliminate them. You can, at times, avoid the fight with them and get ticks from range, but there is no way you can avoid a fight with them for the entirety of the match. So let's break down the best ways to handle them. Shredders are a very structured enemy. Their attack is easy to predict once you get the hang of it. They will rush towards you, try and get as close as possible, and start charging their burst attack. You have no more than 2 seconds to get behind cover. Being hit by it means you're totally out of shields and your health is roughly at 25. The Cultural Archives offer a ton of cover though, as they have large vertical walls lined all the way through it, and you can run to the other side easily to avoid damage. Once the burst ends, you can fire 2 level 1 anvil shots before the next burst begins to charge. If you always run for cover after your second anvil shot, you'll set yourself up for success and avoid damage most of the time. Any cover works, but keep in mind that your entire body must be blocked. If only your bottom half is blocked, you will take a ton of damage still, so crouching when needed is recommended for smaller objects like boxes and forklifts. Aim for the thrusters on the side of the shredder. Taking out 2 will significantly slow the shredder down, and then a few more anvil shots anywhere will eliminate it. You can loot shredders to get decent materials and experience if you're leveling up. Shredder gyro sells for 3k each, or you can salvage it and get a handful of mechanical components. They also drop simple gun parts, mechanical components, arc power cells, shotgun ammo, and arc alloy regularly. Rinse and repeat from there, and watch out for fireballs, pops, and ticks during these fights with shredders. They tend to show up out of nowhere and attack at the worst possible times. You will want to do one full circle of the main area in the cultural archives. There are rooms that extend out from the core section, but as long as you do a full circle in the center area, you will hear and see any ticks in these rooms. Once you've done a full circle, you will want to leave through this hallway that drops you down into a room just outside of the seed vault. To open the seed vault, you need to find a fuel cell to insert inside the main door. You can find that fuel cell in the room you just dropped into, or just down the hallway from the seed vault extraction. Once inside, I recommend closing the door behind you. It just makes it easier to know if someone is pushing in behind you once you're in there. Clear out the room that you enter, then the room on the right, then work your way to the back on the other side. Each section will have anywhere from 2 to 5 ticks, usually on the ceiling, and they will all aggro to you once you enter the room, so be aware of that. If you see sentry turrets, take those out as you go. I'm not sure if they count as a spawn that could be a tick, so I take them out just in case. Once you got all the ticks, head out the locked door in the back of the room. You can open it from the inside and it's faster to open and closer to the hallway to rotate back to the cultural archives. My own process was to close the door behind me so I would know if somebody came and went or was actively inside, as both doors were closed when I left. From here, you just rotate back into the cultural archives and do another full circle. Take your time to eliminate all the enemies before you head back to the seed vault. It should only take you at most 3 minutes if you have a shredder or 2 in the area, and that's more than enough time for ticks to respawn inside the seed vault. If you have a raider in the area, keep in mind that raiders will block spawns in both locations and can take away from your overall score when they steal your tick eliminations. You have 2 options obviously: take them out or find a way to convince them to leave. During my run for 32k, I had a raider that stuck around and blocked the seed vault for 2 rotations. I had an Osprey blueprint in my safe pocket, so I asked them if they wouldn't mind leaving the area and gave them the blueprint as an appreciation gift for doing it. It worked out really well. They left the area and I was able to farm up some more score before the game ended. At 5 minutes remaining, know where your last extraction is. Stella is a confusing map if you're not familiar with it, so plan your route ahead and remember the extraction will be heavily guarded if there are no other players on the map. My extraction was a hot mess and I almost lost my score. I had bullets blocked by invisible geometry that let a pop get away, and a shredder was coming up behind me. I nearly died, but with good positioning and patience, I was able to avoid a disastrous death. I also got insanely lucky that the last player on the map was the guy I gave the blueprint to. Head back to Speranza, collect your loot if you haven't already, and watch your score soar up the leaderboard. You could very easily pass my score if you get a little luckier than I did with raiders being in the area. That's going to be it for me today, y'all. Thanks for watching.